Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be attempting a 24-hour readathon. I have never done a 24-hour readathon before, but I've watched countless YouTube videos and constantly fantasized about completing one because it just sounds so fun. But I'm the type of person who cannot function if I don't sleep. So I've always been like, I don't know if I can stay up all night. That's not really in the cards for me. I don't think I'd succeed if I tried to stay up all night. So I don't think I'll be doing that, but I think I'm going to still be attempting to read for 24 hours with a timer. I've heard the timer method has become pretty popular where people make a 24-hour timer and then they just read as long as the timer goes. And once the timer of 24 hours runs out, they can stop reading. So that way it's not a consistent 24-hour period where it's just non-stop reading, but you still technically read for 24 hours. So I think I'm going to try and do a mixture because I'm staying over at my boyfriend's house. I'm house sitting and I'll pretty much be there by myself and have not much to do. So I was like, why not take this opportunity to just read? Because I'll basically just have the animals to accompany me. So I'm gonna give it a shot. If I fail, I'm not gonna hold it against myself. I'm not gonna bully myself if I don't complete it, but I just want to try because in the future I would like to try and stay up all night, but I just don't think I can do it because I'm I'm planning to go on a run tomorrow and maybe watch some shows, just relax for a bit. So I don't want to pressure myself to constantly be reading because I also don't want to burn myself out. It's been a long enough intro, but it's currently 4:43. I have to drive over there, but it's about an hour drive and I'm not going to be leaving yet because it's rush hour and I just don't want to be in that mess. So I thought I'm going to start it at my house and then that way when I'm driving over I'll have an hour to listen to my audiobook. So I can count that in the 24-hour period. Before I start the timer, I'm going to go through kind of my 24-hour readathon TBR. So I'm currently reading Five Broken Blades by May Corlin. This came out the other day. Well, when you see this, it came out a while ago, but when I'm recording this, it came out I think yesterday. And this is I guess you could call it new adult fantasy with romance, so maybe romantasy, and it follows I think 6 different characters as they all go on this journey to kill this evil king who is immortal. And they're all from different backgrounds and very different from each other, which is really interesting, and so they're all kind of coming together in sort of a Six of Crows way to achieve this common goal. I'm currently about halfway through and I am enjoying it. It's just my motivation is kind of just fallen off for this, so I'd like to just power through and really get through this, especially since it is technically a new release. I'd like to finish it soon. I'm also currently listening to City of Glass by Cassandra Clare, which is the 3rd book in the Mortal Instruments series, and I'm trying to kind of binge as many Mortal Instruments books as I can before I start the Infernal Devices series, because I'm really looking forward to that one, but I wanted to get the full context before I went back and read those. So I'm almost done with book 3. I think I'm nearing the 50% mark, and I'm listening to it on double speed, so I anticipate that I should finish that when I'm driving or just making lunch or something. As for the books I'm bringing with me to read, honestly I'm a pretty slow reader, so I don't know how many I'll actually get through. I'm bringing 3 with me, so these are all on my May TBR. First I have Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I'm sure everyone knows what this is about. Then I have Escaping from Houdini by Carrie Maniscalco. This is part of the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, and it is, I think it's on a ship of sorts, and there's a circus carnival thing. I did start this in the fall sometime. I just didn't really feel pulled to read it at the time, but I'm excited to get to it. I'll be bringing The Stolen Air by Holly Black because I love the Folk of the Air trilogy and I've been dying to pick this up, but it's finally the time and I cannot wait to get into this one. Like I said, I don't know if I'll actually get to all of those, but I just wanted to kind of give myself some options that are shorter, kind of quicker reads that I know I will most likely enjoy and not struggle with, because the other thing that was on my May TBR was the Throne of Glass tandem read, and I just don't think I'm ready for it yet. I will be later in this month because I put out my TBR for a reason, but just not now. Not for the 24-hour period, plus I also don't really want to binge those books. I want to like take my time with them. I'm gonna actually get started and try and make some progress in my book. This lighting is really interesting and it's gonna keep changing because the TV keeps changing. But I have some updates. It's really weird to be in my boyfriend's house without him. First of all, like that's a really strange feeling. And like, it feels like my home because I'm here a lot, but it's just not the same without him. So I'm like, what do I do? But that's why I'm doing this. So, my timer is currently at 21 hours and 25 minutes. So I think I've read about 2.5 hours so far. 1.5 of those was reading 5 Broken Blades, which I'll get to in a second. And then the other hour of that was driving over here where I listened to City of Glass. And I will say I am enjoying City of Glass a lot more than City of Bones and City of Ashes. It's not that those are bad, but just a lot of the plot involving the Shadowhunters and the Downworlders and, you know, everything in the Shadowhunter realm has gotten really interesting. And honestly, I would probably give that one a 4-star. I'm only at the 50% mark right now. I probably would give that one a 4-star if it wasn't for the incest. I just like cannot get over that. I just cannot give it a 4-star. So I think it might just be 3.5. The other two I rated 3-star, but I'm only halfway through, so we'll have to see. But as for 5 Broken Blades, I just made a little kind of late night snack, and I made it up to page 316, which is a pretty good way. I said I read a good like chunk of it. So ambitiously, I'd like to say I want to try and finish this tonight, but I know that's probably really unlikely because as soon as I like lay down and get comfy, I'll probably start to fall asleep. But to fix that, I know I said I wasn't going to stay up all night, but I do have a Coke, which, you know, it's not going to be like an energy drink or coffee, like it's not gonna keep me up, but just for like a little boost, because I like to just get as far into this as possible so that tomorrow I can pick up something else. So yeah, I'm getting really excited. As for my thoughts on this, I'm still enjoying it. I'm definitely not like super attached to it, but the story is really interesting and I'm liking how things like are going. They just had a little run-in with a gang and things got kind of crazy. So they're on the road again, heading towards, I guess, the capital of this country to try and kill the king. So yeah, I'm liking how it's coming together. I'm just kind of nervous for the ending. Like I have no idea where this is gonna go. But yeah, and I honestly don't know what I'm gonna pick up after I finish this. I'm kind of just gonna wait and see if I can even finish this. This is so random, but this is one of the like spiced Coke Zeros. It's supposed to taste like raspberry. It tastes so familiar. It tastes kind of like medicine, which is kind of gross. Look at that's the loud cat. It tastes kind of like medicine, which is not the best, but I refuse to drink regular Coke. It's interesting. I like it, but I don't know if I don't know. Anyways, got my ambient rooms on. I'm about to dive in. Morning, everyone. I definitely look like I just ran out of bed because I did. Last night after I gave my last update, I'm pretty sure I went upstairs and got ready for bed, like brushed my teeth and everything, and then I got in bed and read, but I did read quite a bit more, and I'm currently up to page 387. So I can't remember where I said I was last night, but I did make a lot of progress, and I am very close. That's how much I have left. I'm very close to finishing. And I plan to this morning. However, like I said at the intro, this is not going to be a strict like 24-hour period. Like, I'm setting a timer just to kind of keep track of how many hours I've actually read, and so far it's only been like 4-ish which, like, more than 4 hours have definitely passed. I gave myself 8 hours to sleep last night because I knew I would not be able to function if I didn't get that, because I'm so used to it. But I think I'll still keep the timer going for fun, but I'll technically end the 24-hour period at like 4 or 5 or 6. That's a big range, but it's kind of just whatever I'm feeling, because I started at 4, but I feel like I should add some extra hours because I slept so much. So we'll see, but this is like a very relaxed, just first attempt at a 24-hour readathon, because I don't think I'm ready. Plus the circumstances are actually really good. It's just, I don't know, I don't feel like I have free control, if that makes sense. So I've got my coffee and I'm gonna make breakfast, and I think I'm just gonna sit here and read. And I'd like to say I'll read until I finish it, but I don't know if that will be the case. We'll just have to see. Hey guys, so I'm currently at the park and I'm here later than I planned to be, but I had planned to like go on a run and listen to my audiobook. That way I'm still reading while I'm exercising, but also I feel like that will distract me from the fact that I'm running, because I enjoy running, but like not that much. So anything to like distract me from that I think will help, because normally I'd listen to music while running to like help motivate me, but I can't, like, I get distracted. I keep thinking about things. So if I'm thinking about the book I'm listening to while I'm running, I think I should be able to tolerate it more. So I'm currently about 61% through listening to City of Glass, and I'm still enjoying it. It's definitely still weird. Like, I don't know why they keep dragging on the incest. It's just strange. Like, that's all I can say about it. But it says I have about 6 hours left, which should be about 3, since I'm listening on double speed. So I don't plan to like listen for 3 hours and be here for 3 hours, but I would like to listen to as much as I can. And on my timer, I just got under 19 hours. And I'm not very good at math, but I believe that's 5 hours. Which, like, you know, according to the plans I made, that is not very good, but I'm pretty happy with that. I think I've done really good so far, and I brought 5 broken blades with me too. Let me get it. And I'm so close to being done. Like, I'm so close, but I did want to go on my run, and I had to run an errand and wanted to go ahead and get this out of the way while I was out. But once I get back home, I'm definitely gonna finish that. I'm gonna go on a run, and hopefully it doesn't rain, and listen to my audiobook some more. backlit right now, so sorry about that. But I did just finish Five Broken Blades by May Corland, and this took me longer than I should have to read. I can't remember when I started it, but much longer than it should have taken me to read this book. It's about like nearly 500 pages, which, you know, is a lot, but the chapters are so freaking short that I feel like this would have been like so easy to just binge and zoom. My biggest issue with it is that I felt like I really couldn't deeply connect to the characters. Like, I liked them, I enjoyed reading about them, but I feel like I was just told everything about them and I didn't really get to see much of who they actually are. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, it's told in first person point of view, which I don't really mind, but sometimes it feels like too internal dialogue, like too like, today I blah blah blah, and like so on. I feel like every time I really started getting into it, that something happened in a character's point of view, we switched to the next person. And I was like, oh, okay. So they did like have changes over the course of this book, and there is going to be a sequel, which I don't really know if I'll pick up at this point, but I just felt like I couldn't really connect to the characters. The plot was really enjoyable. I liked the journey they went on. It was a really cool mix of kind of Six of Crows and Knives Out, if that makes sense. Six of Crows being the different characters from different backgrounds come together to accomplish a common goal, and then Knives Out being that like everyone's lying to each other, like they're all trying to trick each other and deceive each other, and nobody really trusts each other. And that leads me into my other critique, which is it felt like they all trusted each other really easily, and so every time they actually questioned each other and thought someone was lying, it didn't hit as hard because they just instantly trusted each other. So I was like, why is this coming now? Like, since they trust each other so quickly, when everything like falls apart and like is coming back together, it doesn't hit as hard because there wasn't like any build-up, like any tension to their relationships actually forming and them starting to care about each other. It just felt really instantaneous, and I just would have liked to see more of that. So overall, I did enjoy it. It just felt like there were things missing that could have been like elevated, enhanced, or just like focused on. I feel like we spent half of the book like when they're all separate and getting to know each person, and then finally at the halfway point they come together, and then for the rest of the book they're going towards to kill the king, and then like the last 100 pages is like boom boom boom, and I still feel like nothing really happened. So I do recommend this. The writing is really easy to read, and I do see how it would be like fast-paced for someone who like doesn't really read that much fantasy. So I do recommend this if you're wanting to have a quick fun fantasy book. But yeah, for me it wasn't my favorite fantasy book, but I don't think it's like all that bad. So I think I'm gonna go downstairs and pick out what I'm going to read next. I'm so excited. I really have no idea what I'm in the mood for. And I've made some progress in escaping from Houdini, and I'm currently up to page 137, which is chapter 13. So I've read quite a bit. As for like the timer, I'm kind of just, I've been using it, but I'm not like gonna hold myself to that and like disappoint myself, because I have read so much in the past 24-hour period. Definitely not like consistently, not as much as I could have if I really like pushed myself and like just threw everything aside and did this, but I did still have like some responsibility things, and I also just like did want to watch some YouTube and like, you know, stuff like that. So I'm kind of like meh, whatever. I didn't really like fully do a like whole 24-hour period, but I'm very satisfied with like where I've ended up. I finished 5 Broken Blades. I made really good progress in my audiobook. I started and got a good chunk into this book, and I'm very happy with where I am. I'm still gonna continue reading tonight. I think I'm gonna end this here because I feel good about it. As for like a first attempt at a 24-hour readathon, obviously, you know, like I said, I could have like pushed myself a lot harder, but I'm kind of trying to ease myself into it, and I also don't want to burn myself out on reading because I have a really great TBR set for May, and I don't want to get sick of reading books before I can get to like the rest of them that I have planned to read this month. I'm hoping to do like an actual full 24-hour attempt like in a couple weeks maybe. Once I'm home and like I don't have to like let dogs out or run and get cat food like I had to. So I'm excited to try it again. But I think for a first attempt it was rough, but I feel good. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I definitely will have more videos up soon, and I hope to have a better 24-hour readathon up soon, and I hope I can make a lot more progress. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.